pretty well. I mean, obviously in a 5-day break, we've got to make sure recovery's at front of mind. So generally pretty well. Obviously we won't be doing much this week, and Essendon are off the same 5-day break. So we'll need to make sure we're ready to go Thursday.
Are you expecting anyone else to come back in aside from Bale, obviously?
We'll just see how Rowie goes. He's coming along pretty well from the recovery as well from his knee. So we'll see how that goes this week.
He's one of your best in round one, even after he'd injured his knee and been taking part of the side for a couple of years. So how do you fit him back into it, the side that's firing like you have been?
Oh, look, he's a very good player. He plays with real power as well, which is, we really value that side of his game. So we'll see how he goes this week. If he's right to play this week, it'd be fantastic. If he's not, and it needs to be another week, we'll see how the week pans out.
You explained that you were conscious of Buddy having to come back on a 5-day break if he played last week in the coming game. So is that sort of a similar thinking with some of the younger guys, first-year players like Goulden or even Warner as a second-year player?
No, that's based upon. I mean, they're all a bit different. They've had significantly different pre-seasons than Lance, so that's a fair bit different. Lance has had an interrupted pre-season. He's 34 years of age, so that was a reason for him. Those younger blokes, if they feel fine, they'll be right to play.
Must be nice to consider throwing in one of the greatest players of all time to a team that's just beaten the premiers at the MCG, John.
Yeah, look, he's we were wrapped with the way we played on the weekend. Just thought we had a really good balance in all aspects of the game. So which was fantastic to see against a great team. The reality of it is that we play in 5 days against a team that won by 75 points, and so you need to move on pretty quickly. It'd be terrific to have Lance back in the team, hopefully he's got some. He's obviously had some more training under his belt, and he feels good for Thursday.
Is he all sweet? Does he have to just get through the things, I guess, in your framework that he has to do, and then he's in?
Yeah. Look, he trained today, and has been pulling up well. So, his program was that he trained last week really hard, trained against Saturday, trained today, and then hopefully he pulls up well and ready to go.
Sorry, I meant to cut you off there. We know that you've said you'll rest Buddy throughout the season. How keen were you though, or tempted to put him in on the weekend against Richmond?
Oh, you're always tempted to play great players. I mean, let's be clear with that. You always want your best players playing, but we sat down a month ago, and regardless of where the results were at, we just felt that was the best way to go about it. After his first game, it allows him time to train and allows him time to spend strengthening his hamstrings, his groin, the areas that he needed to in the gym after his first game, and he couldn't play the Saturday and the Thursday night back to back after 5 days. That wasn't going to be a possibility. So in the end, the sort of decision is really made for us, really, when you look at all the facts.
You're 3-0, amazing start to the season. What do you credit that down to?
It's just playing all facets of the game. It's we've been fortunate that we've had some players that have come into the team that have been really beneficial. We've hopefully kept the team fit, and that's an important part of it. And just making sure we continue to play a balanced game, and just taking each game as it comes. It's a pretty simple process, but I mean the real trick is making sure you stick to that process and backing our system in, and that's what we'll continue to do.
You've got a winning side, bringing Buddy in. How hard is it to drop someone?
Oh, look, we understand that when you have a good win that it's difficult to put players out of the team, but we're also fully open with our players that he won't be playing every game. We've said that every player in our team is required when they come in to play a good role for their team, and if they continue to do that, they'll continue to get opportunities. So it's pretty simple.
Aidan McLean dropped out when Buddy did come in, and he was back in for the game against Richmond. Do you expect it will be sort of like a like for like with a tall going out?
We'll see how the week pans out, mainly because we're not sure how everyone pulls up. So it's obviously only Monday today, so we'll make that decision. We probably won't make that until sort of Wednesday night, making sure everyone's feeling good about themselves and in the best possible condition to take on the Bombers. So we'll make that decision as late as we can.
Johnny, how's the excitement in the group at the moment? It seems like a pretty good self-regulating group in terms of if anyone gets ahead of themselves, they're brought back into line, or maybe they don't even have that in them.
No, it's just a balance, isn't it? Of being confident and reinforcement of what you do well. That's always got to be in front of mind. But also, the reality of the competition means we play a team that's won by 75 points off a 5-day break, and it's got an incredible ability to even you out this competition. So you need to address what worked well, what you need to improve on, and move on to the next challenge ahead. So we've been down that path where we continue to just worry about what's in front of us, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Just a little bit more broadly on the game in general over the first sort of 3 rounds. Scoring's up. People are talking about changes having worked in terms of the rules. What's your take on that? Are you as well as a coach happy with how footy looks at the moment?
Look, there has been some aspects changed. The man the mark rules changed it a bit. We saw that during the pre-season. It usually takes about 6 weeks before we actually settle into a bit of a rhythm of what it looks like. So we're still a couple of weeks away from that mark. Early signs are there's been some differences, but we'll usually get to that 6-week mark before you find trend lines that are pretty consistent. So. As I said, the early signs are there's been some aspects that have changed, but we'll get to the 6-week mark and probably analyse it a bit more then.
Just on that, what do you think, if you've given any thought to it, is behind the sudden rise in sort of bags of goals for a lot of key forwards? We saw 10 on the weekend. Tex Walker kicked.
Well, it looks.
Come again.
I mean, Tex kicked 5 of those from tackles, so you sort of got to look at how they get the goals. I think the gut instinct tells us that the man the mark rule has changed a bit, because you can't work off that man on the mark in a defensive aspect. So that's what your gut feel tells us, and what it looks like to be happening, and therefore that's probably opened the game up a bit more for the forwards. But once again, it's that sort of we're only a pretty small sample size, and I'd like to get a few more weeks in before it becomes a real trend.
Do you think someone that's been suggested that the 100-goal barrier might tumble this year? Have you seen enough to suggest that might be a possibility?
Who knows? Yeah, as I mentioned, there's early signs. We'll wait and see over the that sort of 6-week block. It's everyone tries to jump from here to there and make bold statements about how this has changed or how that statement. I like to sort of wait and see how it settles, and then really make a considered decision after that which way it will go.
Coming up against Essendon on Thursday night, how tough do you think they're going to be? As you mentioned, 75-point victory for them.
Yeah, they were fantastic on the weekend. They've got a number of younger players similar to us, and they were fantastic. I mean, St Kilda are a finals team, and they've come out and won by 75 points. So, we watched them over the weekend, and they played a great style of footy. So, it's terrific. 2 teams coming off good wins back here in the SCG, and what we hope in front of a great crowd. So, really looking forward to that.
100% capacity. It'll be loud.
Yeah, we hope that we get to as many people as we can there. I mean, we had a great following down in Melbourne on the weekend. Our Melbourne-based supporters they turned out in droves. It was fantastic to see. The players got a real buzz out of it. So it'd be great to get back here to a big SCG crowd against 2 teams watching 2 teams that played really well on the weekend. So that's what we're hoping for.
You played Buddy in your last home game, and then again this one. Is he planning to play in every home game?
No, it's early in his comeback. So we'll play him when we need to and when we think he's right to go.